Field level family, we are here, man. We back at it, man, for another one, man. What a day! What a day! What a day, man. We're gonna say that a couple times just to make sure, man, that y'all understand. Quan, today was crazy, bro.
Man, who you telling? Who you telling?
Bro, like I'm sitting in my bedroom right now. Y'all know, like I said, I'm confined to the room for a second. Sitting in the bedroom right now, and I'm literally sweating. Like literally there's sweat coming down my head just because of the intensity of the last game that just happened. Like it was crazy, bro. Like I'm sitting here and I want to say I almost had a clean sweep today. Almost had a clean. I was literally a yard away from having to. Oh wait, somebody knocking on the door, bro. Somebody knocking on the field level door, man. Field level family. Let's let them in. Let them in. Let them in. Hey,
That was good.
what's going on, man?
That was good.
Look who it is,
Quan,
man.
Quan,
that
I'll
knocking
deal
on the
with you
door.
tomorrow. I'll deal with you tomorrow, Quan.
We ain't even gonna speak. We ain't gonna bring it up until tomorrow. I'll be ready,
Hey,
though.
man.
That's it.
Yo, but that I wanna start off tonight. I know Quan, you was on the road playing Speed Racer, whatever and whatnot. But I want to start, man, with the last game that just ended, bro. If I know you weren't able to catch a lot of it, but what a game! What a game! I think that game tonight kind of solidified and stamped for Cam to kind of say, "I'm here." For the Patriots to actually take solace in knowing, hey, we got a quarterback, man. Like I know Tom Brady's gone. I know that he is no longer in New England. But Cam Newton, he played a really good game. He played a really good game and literally came a yard away from beating Seattle in Seattle.
Right.
One thing I will say is shout out to the field level family. Love y'all, man. Happy to have y'all with us on tonight as we recap week 2. One thing I will say is that the New England Patriots, they have zero depth at wide receiver. I think tonight kind of showed that Julian Edelman, the Bird kid out of South Carolina, N'Keal Harry for me is just becoming a disappointment.
Really?
Yeah, he's just becoming. I mean, his size, his stature, his athletic ability. You just expect and I'll say this like this: if you were to line N'Keal Harry up side by side with DK Metcalf, there's not much difference as far as stature and build.
Good point.
And he doesn't play nowhere near as physical as he should. And I think tonight was a great indication that they really do lack that that wide receiver depth. You had Bird, you had Edelman, and you had Harry, and that was all. That like literally, like that was it. And when it came down to the end of the game, I'll just give this a little brief synopsis. When it came down to the end of the game, Cam Newton threw a deep end to Julian Edelman, and Jules went up and it went right through his hands in the end zone to win the game. And it wasn't because of lack of ability. He was just gassed, bro.
That's funny you say that because as I was driving home, shout out to Sirius XM for allowing me to listen to the game, NFL Network. I was listening to the end of the game, and the announcer said that he was like, if Jules was 6 feet instead of 5'10", he would have caught that ball, but he's just tired. He said that literally.
Yep, so, was gas. Yeah. Was super gas, and I think that that played a huge role into what happened tonight. I will say this: Seattle's good.
Oh yeah,
Seattle's good. Diggs went out early for a targeting call. First targeting ejection that I've seen in the NFL. I don't think I've seen a lot of targeting. I know they just recently implemented it, but I haven't seen any. Have y'all seen any targeting?
None.
Not in the NFL.
Is it a no mulligan rule? Like, do they give you like a warning the first time and the second time injection, or is it first time injection?
No. So what's happening is that as soon as you get that helmet to helmet contact, as soon as that issue comes in, they send that to New York, and then New York calls in and says, "Hey, he got to go."
So they're the ones declaring if it's intentional or not.
Right,
Yeah,
right. So it's
that
kind of
Chargers game with Perriman, he should have been out of there.
yeah. So like I'm saying, so that was an issue tonight was that they didn't have no digs on the backside, so they were kind of shorthanded in the secondary. But Russell Wilson did what Russell Wilson does, just made plays, and I have to give it to the Patriots defense though, because about 2 minutes left in the game, the Patriots punted it, and the defense went out there and stopped them. The Patriots defense went out there, stopped Seattle, got the ball back with like a minute something left, and gave Cam a chance. And Cam actually played really well coming down the stretch. It's just like a difference of a yard, difference of 1 yard. But let's get into some of these games tonight, man. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's recap some of this, man. Rams, Eagles. I think everybody on the pod tonight, shout out to my man CT, man. I know he out on the road getting it in. But everybody that's on tonight, we all picked the Rams. The lone wolf was CT who picked Philly. And I have to say this, though it was Philly's not very good. Jared Goff played well.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Shout out to Goff.
And I know I'm gonna let you talk about that a little bit, Quan, because I know last podcast you had kind of got into a little bit of your rant of how we were critiquing Goff, so to speak. So I'm gonna let you hop on there right quick.
I just think, without getting into super long detail, I just think that Goff, there's certain quarterbacks in the game that get unfair criticism or they get too much hate thrown their way when they're actually really good. I mentioned Goff. I mentioned even Jimmy G. I just think Goff. I don't have the stats in front of me because I'm fresh off of the road. But
Goff 20 of 27, 267 yards, 3 touchdowns, QBR of 95.8.
So that's what I'm saying. He only missed 7 passes today.
Right.
Seven passes over 200 yards, multiple touchdown throws. Good with the ball. Like, I just don't understand how people can throw so much criticism at a guy who 2 years ago got his team to the bowl, and he's starting to be consistent. And the run game was there as a committee, but it's not like it was, a couple of years ago. So I think Goff gets a lot of praise today. He did very well, man, very well. And shout out to Higbee. Put up the hat trick. Hat trick,
3 of them things. Higbee hit for 3 of them things. I think that was something else that I was kind of going to touch on a little bit. Did Higbee kind of throw his name in that top tight end kind of group in the day? It was funny to watch. And Miles, I'm gonna let you speak on a little bit though. It was funny to watch because the way McVay kind of used Higbee today was very similar to how Kyle Shanahan uses George Kittle's. So some misdirection, down block, leak out. Have everything flowing one way and have him creep back out to the other side. One of the touchdowns, we were, full flow to the right. Higbee creeped out late to the left and was down the left sideline, and that was all she wrote. So I think that they're kind of using some interesting ways to kind of get him involved in the offense by creating that misdirection, down block and go kind of scheme. Miles, what did you feel about that Rams-Eagles game?
Honestly, watching that game, kind of like to Quan's point about Jared Goff, I think what Sean McVay is doing for Jared Goff right now is getting the ball out of his hands quickly. He's not looking for one-on-one matchups because the Rams offense isn't really one-on-one matchups. It's all based off of personnel and formation. Like Robert Woods running across the field, Cooper Kupp. And that's why Higbee is actually getting open a lot more because of the attention of those crossing routes and all this RPO action, run play action. And then they're also balancing it out with the running attack with the backs that we don't know, So teams can't really game plan against this team. They can't game plan against this team because you're not really looking to stop one person. You have to be able to stop the total offense. You have to be able to stop the full total offense. And honestly, Philly had a really rough day stopping the Rams defense. The Rams defense has a juice to them right now, and they have a fire that's really different. I'm going to be honest with you. When you have Arnold up front and then you have Jalen Ramsey in the secondary, just bringing that energy is a little different. It's just real different. Yeah, they'll get scored on every other, drive or so. But as the game's going on and you have a fast-paced offense that can score fast,
Right.
in their personnels, and then bring the defense back out with those two type of energies, I mean,
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, and I want to just ask this question and kind of see how you guys feel. Final score: Los Angeles Rams 37, Philadelphia Eagles 19. One thing that kind of jumped out to me is that 37-19, and I think Philly had maybe 4 or 5 more offensive snaps. So the Philadelphia offense was on the field more than the Rams offense. But the issue was Carson Wentz 26-43, 242 yards.
he's struggling.
2 interceptions, 37.7 QBR, struggling bad. Miles Sanders had 20 carries for 95 yards, 1 touchdown. So he had a pretty solid day. But once again, Wentz is not that great. I think ever since he's went down with that injury, and I'm not going to say he's an average quarterback. He's average at best. No, he is. He's average.
All right.
He's average. And the reason why I say that is that let's be honest. Let's be real. Okay, you have Aaron Donald up front, great pass rusher, great defensive lineman, a guy who I said has the potential to be the league MVP. Right. Then you have Jalen Ramsey on the outside. But outside of those two guys, granted they bring a lot of energy, but that other corner is not that great. Neither is that back end where they're also starting a rookie because Taylor Rapp isn't that guy anymore for them. So they have a rookie starting back there at safety, along with John Johnson the third or the second. I can't fathom how you have the weapons that you have. You got Deshaun Jackson, Zach Ertz, Jalen Reagor. You have, not even gonna say his name, but you have JJ Arcega-Whiteside. But you have those type of weapons, and here we go with Reagor was 4 for 41, Ertz was 5 for 42, Deshaun was 6 for 64. But then you're throwing picks. You're just not making good decisions. When you have those weapons and you're not making those good decisions, I think something has to kind of give. I would not be surprised, a la like I said with Justin Herbert in LA. If we don't see, but before this year is over, if we don't see a Jalen Hurts sighting.
Let me jump in here real quick, man. I will not defend. I like Wentz. I will not defend Wentz to a fault because I agree with what Miles said. He is struggling right now. Everyone can see that. But we also have to look into account to what they're saying on their side. They're saying, like, their coach is saying stuff like, we're trying to work in Deshaun Jackson because he had a core muscle injury last year. So we're trying to work him in slowly, which is why he's not on the field for every offensive snap. Alshon is still yet to be seen. You got, and you know what? He might be seeing ghosts with his line and getting. Look, I mentioned it last week, and I'll be real quick. He got sacked 8 times last week. Who knows how? I don't know how many times he got sacked this week. Let alone how many pressures he's gotten. Because that's another stat we have to take into account. It's almost just as effective as a sack. He might be seeing ghosts right now.
No sacks today, Quan.
No sacks.
But you know what it is though, Quan. Just to this point, I think the Eagles haven't found out what their offense is going to do. Like I feel like they haven't found an identity. I honestly, if it was me, I would run my offense through RPO action to Miles, and then get the ball to our tight ends. Get the ball to tight ends because honestly, right now the receivers they're not getting open. They're not, and I don't believe Carson Wentz is a quarterback that looks for that one option and can get the ball to him in different aspects. Like for example, like a back shoulder fade to a guy like Deshaun Jackson. Just get it out there. This offense needs to speed it up, and I think they just think Carson Wentz can do it all right now, and I think that's why they're struggling.
And last point,
go ahead.
No, you're right. But last point too, I also think they're starting slow because this was Miles Sanders' first game back off an injury, and his first carry he fumbles. So they're starting slow every game, and then they have to find a way to pull it out. So, but enough about them. You guys are absolutely right though. Everything about the Eagles. I'm not going to say he's average just yet. I still think he's above.
I'm gonna let you have that one, bro. I'm gonna let you have that one. Just a final stat, like I say, 0 sacks on Wentz today, only 3 hurries.
Oh well, then he got an answer to that. He got an answer to that.
Only 3 hurries. Next game on the docket, man. Jesus Christ, dude. San Francisco 49ers 31, Jets 13 with a late go-ahead touchdown that Sam Darnold hit to Braxton Berrios to beat Akello Witherspoon. Surprise, surprise, Akello gets beat for a touchdown.
Man, leave him alone. Man.
Garbage sauce.
Terrible.
Stall him out, Debo. Stall
Terrible.
him out.
Akello should take off the 31 and put a WM on his chest for waste management. That guy is trash. But I will say this, man. I think as a whole in the NFL today, these injuries were crazy, man. I think and it wasn't even as much as it was the amount of injuries. I think what really got me was the severity of the injuries. Yeah. Right. So you're gonna get injuries Sunday to Sunday, you know what I mean? But the fact that you got, 4 or 5 ACLs today, 6 guys get carted off, like all these different injuries that happen across the league. I think one thing about the Niners right now, which is crazy, and I looked and I saw this post on Instagram earlier. Speaking of Instagram, don't hesitate in going and following the Field Level on Instagram at the Field Level. But I think it wasn't that page. Okay, so it was a page that I seen that had this graphic today where it was kind of like, Jesus Christ, when you actually looked at it and you seen it, it was crazy to see. The Niners right now have about 9 guys that are key contributors that are out. So today, most likely the Niners have lost Nick Bosa for the season with an ACL injury. Most likely they have lost Solomon Thomas for the season with the ACL injury. They have lost Jimmy Garoppolo for 4 to 6 weeks, with a high ankle sprain. They lost Mostert with a sprained MCL. Coleman went out late with the knee. Who else am I missing anybody today?
You mentioned Solly, right?
Solly, yeah. Solly's out for the year with ACL. On top of the fact that Richard Sherman's on IR with a calf, George Kittle's out with the knee, D Ford's out with the neck,
and
Debo's out with a foot on IR. Richie James is out on IR. So it's getting to be quite crazy. But what I will say is this: is for the Niners to be undermanned, and I thought that this was a very important game for the Niners. One, you're already undermanned without George Kittle coming into the game, without Richard Sherman coming into the game, without D Ford coming into the game, and then over the course of the game to lose the guys that you lost. I thought it was very important that the Niners still won the game handily. That was extremely important for the Niners simply because after last week, there was question marks. They were like, this team didn't look that great, didn't look that good. There were some things that they didn't do that they should have been doing, that they've done in times past that it just didn't show or translate into this season. Well, the Niners came out, Jimmy Garoppolo coming out before he got hurt. And mind you, got hurt what? First quarter. First quarter went down with the ankle, right? Played the rest of that half. In that time, from the time he hurt his ankle to the time he left for halftime, 14 to 16, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns, only got sacked once with a QBR of 99.6.
Yeah, he was very efficient.
Was having a solid game. The ball was coming off of his hand different, was making better decisions. I think he had an overall better game. One thing that was to note that I think that I saw early is Dante Pettis didn't play a lot of offense in the first. He didn't play no offense in the first half. When that first team was out there, Brandon Ayuk is back. Dante Pettis was not on the field, not at all.
Yeah,
which was crazy. Mostert goes down at halftime. Also, 8 carries, 92 yards, 1 touchdown. And I keep saying this. So after Mostert goes down, bro, they go to Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman then has 14 carries for 12 yards. 14 carries for 12 yards. They skip over Jerick McKinnon, same manner that they did last week. Jerick McKinnon has 3 carries. Quan, you listen to me. I want you to hear me. Jerick McKinnon has 3 carries for 77 yards. 3 carries for 77 yards. Same Jerick McKinnon that last week had the same 3 carries for 24 yards. His yards per carry average is astonishing right now, and we're just not running the ball with him. But I will say this: the 49ers showed a lot of guts. They showed a lot of grind. The 49ers did their thing, and they won a game they were supposed to win, but they won it in a hard manner, in a hard fashion. Miles, how did you feel about the game?
Watching the game, I mean, it was a must win for the Niners, and it was going to be a win for the Niners. But it's unfortunate to see all the injuries to this team. You know, just coming back from being a Super Bowl team. But honestly, I'm not surprised at the amount of injuries that's happened in the league, with the lack of training camp reps and actually the lack of just being in the weight room. And then I'm not surprised as well because of the lack of preseason. You know, keeping these guys actually healthy. You know, like Bosa's injury looks kind of nasty. But, you know, like, and watching some of all these injuries all around the league, they all look kind of nasty. But it's just unfortunate that this is happening to the reigning NFC champs. But I do believe that Kyle Shanahan will definitely figure it out. Honestly, I think that they can still reach that same pinnacle of being a great team, but now your division is definitely it's a division to be reckoned with in the NFC. So these injuries probably will end up playing a pivotal. I guess. What would you say? Maybe not a pivotal moment, but more like these injuries are definitely going to stack up, and they may be reasons why you win or lose games. You know, then this is how you definitely find out the depth that your team actually has. And I'm excited for some of these guys that are getting an opportunity now. You know, maybe you actually do find out what you're going to get from Brandon Ayuk. Maybe Nick Mullen, maybe you do see what he's going to do if Jimmy is out for a long period of time. You know, you get to see all these guys showcase themselves, especially during this time of COVID, all these undrafted free agents. Maybe that's the move, and putting a whole bunch of guys on IR and seeing what you guys actually have.
No doubt. I think that's something that's very key. I want to say this, though, because I thought it was very paramount. I'm okay with Nick Mullins coming in and playing quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Mullins started 8 games in 2018, went 3 of 5, beat the Raiders. But I think one thing that we don't always see is Nick Mullins can play football. Broke all of Brett Favre's records at what was the name of that school? Yeah. And what's that? What was it?
I think it was Southern Miss.
Yeah, one of those. But broke a lot of his records. And when he throws the ball, it comes off.
Mm-hmm.
That man got
a live arm.
Yeah, his arm when he throws the ball, it comes off definitely. But I gotta say, man, a lot of people were clamoring, "Oh, we should have kept Defoe. I want to make this point. It was never between Eric Armstead and DeForest Buckner. That was not who it was between. Armstead signed a team-friendly deal. Who it was between, 49er fans, was DeForest Buckner and George Kittle. Who do you want? You choose. They couldn't have signed them both. It couldn't have been Kittle and Buckner. So they made the right choice in that. I got to say this, though, Quan, as I throw it over to you, Jordan Reed. Bright spot.
That boy is
Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed is definitely a bright spot. I think that Jordan Reed showed us so much. I'm like, yo, I'm kind of excited about what Jordan Reed was.
What? And then why you messing up the rhythm, Saudi? Come on, man. That's for another day.
Nah, I think Saudi. I think Kendrick Bourne showed today that he's a 3. Yeah, he showed he was a 3. Quan, go ahead, and you do your recap.
1, just letting you know.
You know what? Jordan Reed is just showing everybody what we all kind of got due to him being injured a lot. You know, it's not that he couldn't play. It was never that. It was he just kept getting injured. But if he can stay healthy, and when Kittle comes back, this is going to be the best tight end duo, one of the best tight end duos in the league. I would say another one is running your division between Higbee and Gerald Everett, who's the more athletic tight end that the Rams have, but Higbee's just so consistent. He stays behind him. I remember another damn duo you guys had at tight end when you had Vernon Davis and Lenny Walker. So this is just bringing a lot of memories back. So this is Kyle Shanahan heaven if he could just stay healthy. But you know what? Miles had a good point. These injuries. To me, a lot of these injuries look nasty, but a lot of these injuries are not the same. Deebo Samuel came out after the game and kind of put on blast that MetLife Stadium's turf is trash.
They said it's sticky.
Right. So
college turf.
Oh man, so that kind of shows you maybe that's something that the league or at least MetLife facilities like that place need to look into that. But they're all not the same. Bosa's injury looked nasty, but it wasn't like he got he might have messed up his knee due to like it just buckling on him. A player rolled up on him behind him. He didn't see it. That's a freak accident. You know, he plays D lineman. I'm sure people are always going at his legs. It just happened like that. Even if you go to a different game where Saquon hurt his knee, he hurt his knee on 3 different times.
That looked weird.
Hey, I know we're podcasts at the West Coast, but I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna pass it to you so we can move on with the show. Good job, Niners. But the Giants staff need to be fired because if that report is true that he hurt his knee 3 different times in the same game and y'all kept putting him out there until it finally really gave out, all y'all need to be fired, bruh.
Yeah.
Killed my fantasy. Killed my fantasy.
Killed your fantasy, huh?
But no, you are. I'm gonna take this W against Pat.
You still beating me. You still beating me right now. That's all good. But no, I think that was a great win for the Niners. I will say this: with all those guys going down, I think it's very beneficial that the Niners now have the Giants, Philly, and Miami the next 3 games. Whew. You know what I mean? Like it ain't you don't got to go out there with your dogs. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of get through that and kind of find your way through those games if necessary. Okay, next game up as we get our way through this. Let's go to Washington, Arizona. Washington hit for 15. Arizona Cardinals went and they threw up 30 on them. I got to say this. Through 2 weeks, Arizona looks like the best team in the NFC West.
Ooh, okay.
Through the first 2 weeks of the season, Arizona looks like the best team in the NFC West. Kyler Murray, 26-38, 286 yards, 1 tug, 1 interception, but then he also came back, added 8 carries for 67 yards. DeAndre Hopkins, 8 catches, 68 yards, 1 touchdown. I think DeAndre Hopkins brings a receiver to the NFC West that we haven't had a guy like him in the NFC West in a very long time.
Yeah.
Like let's think about it. Like let's really take a second. The Niners haven't had any receiver like that. The Seattle Seahawks haven't had a receiver like that. The Los Angeles Rams haven't had a receiver like that in the last 10 years. DeAndre Hopkins brings a receiver that the NFC West has not seen in a very long time. And Drake, I don't know what's gotten into him since he's made his way from Miami, but the kid is balling. 20 carries, 86 yards. I mean, he's doing his thing. And hell, even Andy Isabella had 67 yards today. You know what I mean? Larry Fitzgerald has 7.
Well, that's a shocker.
But the Arizona defense, I think, did an awesome job today. Arizona defense was able to get 4 sacks, 7 tackles for a loss. They had 8 hits on the quarterback today.
That's good, man. That's almost just as effective as a sack. That's good.
8 hits on the quarterback outside of the 4 sacks that they had. So they touched Dwayne Haskins 12 times today. So Arizona, for me, going into week 2, going into week 3 now, Arizona for me is looking like the best team in the NFC West. Quan, how do you feel about the Cardinals, man?
I'm still gonna say the Seahawks are the team to beat, but the Cardinals, it's kind of hard to argue that, man. They looked good. Kyler just looks like a man on a mission. And y'all can hear my daughter in the background crying because I'm talking about somebody other than the Raiders. But that'll be but nah, man. Kyler Murray is just a man on a mission, man. He looks focused. He clearly, if you guys know his history, I'm sure Cardinals fans know it for sure. He doesn't lose. He didn't lose in college, he didn't lose at all in high school. So I just think he didn't like losing last year.
Right.
And now he gets a bona fide weapon, all his weapons that he got returning from last year. And he looks like a man on a mission. He's using his legs more, where last year I think like he used them as like an emergency perk, whereas this year he's doing that and more. So I just think, man, sky's the limit for the Cardinals. And back to what Miles said, Miles, I'll pass it to you. The NFC West is clearly cream of the crop right now. There's no cakewalk in the NFC West right now.
Yeah, but kind of to your point, Pat, I believe the Cardinals are the team to beat. But you know what I think? I think Kyler Murray is coming into his own as figuring out the style of play that he needs to play. You know, like honestly, the touchdown on the QB draw, you can't design it any better for a guy of his skill set. You can't design it any better because he's a mobile quarterback, but he's very short, so you kind of can't treat him. You can't tackle him like a normal guy.
Right, you can't find him.
You can't find him. And honestly, I seen him throw a ball today to D-Hop, and literally it was a back shoulder fade. And I'm like, at his age, to get a guy the ball like that in that moment for a first down, and it was like just at like a 3rd and 10. It's kind of like how Joe Flacco was the quarterback in Baltimore, and they were getting ready for Lamar to be the quarterback. They basically made the offense his, and so now I believe Kyler Murray, this is his offense. It's not, and it's very simple because that's why Drake is getting off, is because it's RPO action. You gotta play these guys honest. You don't know where the ball's gonna go to, and Drake is like, man, let me get back to my speed running, going downhill, get what I can. Now he's taking some shots. I ain't gonna lie, I've seen him take a couple shots today, but honestly, getting the ball to D-Hop, using Larry Fitzgerald as a blocker, as a diversion, man, and I mean they got something going there right now,
dude. And when you talk about that back shoulder, it was so impressive because literally the ball was off of Kyler Murray's hand before D-Hop even dribbled down to come back to the back shoulder. For those two guys to have that level of chemistry in week 2. That's scary.
You got a dangerous team.
The back shot, it was so smooth, so clean, just dribbled off bank, get off of me, and he, you know, it's a really dangerous team. I think that Chandler Jones is still wreaking havoc on that defensive line. Patrick Peterson he's no longer Pat P. He's Patrick Peterson, but he's still a serviceable guy. And then he's
not done yet. He's not done yet.
He's not done yet, but he's not where he was.
No,
he's not finished.
Sure. No.
But he's not where he was.
Yeah.
Isaiah Simmons coming into his own, and Budda Baker is just a nuisance.
I told you,
he's a gnat.
Budda Baker's a guy that you just hate to play football against.
He's worth every penny too.
You know what I'm saying? You hate to play football against him. Let's just jump over. We're gonna get through a couple of these. Denver Broncos 21, Pittsburgh Steelers 26. I picked the Steelers to win this game. But if Drew Lock doesn't get hurt, I think the Broncos win this game. Jeff Driscoll came in 18 and 34, 256, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, was sacked 6 times. That's a decent day for a backup. That's a really good day. Actually, that's a good day for a backup. But I just feel like if Drew Lock would have been in, I think they could have won this game. You've seen a hefty dose of Melvin Gordon. Also, Philip Lindsay went down very early. I think Philip Lindsay went down like on the first drive. So that
played?
I think he did, didn't he? I think he played and went, and I thought he played and went down. But if he didn't play, then I might be wrong. But Melvin Gordon, 19 carries, 70 yards, 3.7 yards a carry. These receivers, everybody caught a ball, man. And if you play receiver for the Broncos today, you got a ball. So Cortland Sutton, 3 catches for 66 yards. Jerry Jeudy 4 for 62. KJ Hamler made his NFL debut, 3 for 48. Tim Patrick 2 for 24. Even Hamilton went in there and got 1 for 5. So every receiver on their roster, they got a catch, and that's not even including Noah Fant. The Broncos are going to be okay. think when Drew Lock gets healthy, they have to find their identity. They have to get these new guys really acclimated to the offense. But the Denver Broncos, I feel like are going to be okay. How do you feel about Denver today, Miles?
Nah, I agree with you. Only thing I will say, having the young receivers with all the talent, there's a lot of drop balls. The ball's being spread around because Jared Judy, I'm starting to call him Butterfingers. And that's why
he drops a lot of balls.
He drops a lot of balls, and but I feel like they will be okay if Drew Lock can get a little bit more poise in the pocket. This offense can be very dangerous because of the amount of receivers that they have weapons wise, and with Melvin Gordon, and then get Lindsey back healthy. Man, you got a good Broncos team.
Right, Quan, on you, baby.
If the Broncos need to fix their O-line issues. They have to. I saw the play where Drew Lock got hurt. It looked like it was more so he was just trying to make something happen, trying to do a little bit too much, and then the rush eventually ended up getting to him. But they got to get the O-line fixed because when Jeff Driscoll went in there, he was getting beat up. I'm not going to trick. He was getting beat up. On some of the throws he made, like on one of the throws, it was I want to say it was a corner route to Hamler out the slot. He took a shot, but delivered the throw. But he took a shot. I was surprised he got up. So the Broncos will be okay. I agree with what y'all said. Drew will fix the drop. He comes from a good pedigree. He'll fix the drops. Hamler flashed, which is what you want. Cortland Sutton, I think he just needs to get he needs to get his swagger back. He came today off of I think it was a little hamstring injury, and then I think he tweaked it and he went back out after he had a couple catches. He had a big drop. He's the guy that they need to lean on because proven he could be a $1,000 receiver. So he needs to be the guy that doesn't have these mental mess ups and he's going out for these little ticky-tack injuries, because the young guys like Hamler and Judy, you got rookies looking up to you, and Cortland Sutton's only in his third year, so he's kind of thrust into a more important role. Right. So he has to be that high, but I think they'll be okay. They're 0-2, but they're young, so I think Bronco fans knew this was coming, but they'll be okay.
No, yeah, definitely agree with you. Last game on the docket today, I have to say this because I gave him praise. As great as the Kansas City Chiefs looked last week, they look terrible today.
Woo!
And that's why. And when I'm using that metric, I want y'all to hear what I'm saying. I'm using that metric. As great as they looked last week, they look terrible today. It looked lethargic for a lot of the game until that very, very end. Patrick Mahomes did not look good. Patrick Mahomes did not look good until the very end of that game. Sidebar, Tyrod Taylor, some crazy injury, mysterious chest injury happens.
But he did have to get rushed to the hospital, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some crazy, who knows what happened, to the point where Justin Herbert said he found out he was starting 5 minutes before kickoff.
Cool.
Better warm up that arm, baby.
5 minutes before kickoff, he's found he was starting.
He did, Quan. He did.
So let's check a little bit of these stats, man. Pat Mahomes, 27 of 47, 302 yards, 2 touchdowns, QBR of 84.6. Yeah, whatever. Average 6 yards a throw. When you think about Patrick Mahomes, you think a lot more downfield, a lot more, stretching the field. Averaging 6 yards a throw for Pat Mahomes is a little mediocre. It means he was taking a lot of checkdowns. That's what I see in my eyes. He did have 54 rushing yards. And then a guy who everybody wanted to praise, CT's guy after week 1. Let's crown him. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Let's give him the rushing title now. 10 carries today for 38 yards.
Yeah, that's not going to get done.
And that's what kind of like that was the thing that kind of like threw me off today was, your running backs combined for 14 carries.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what happened so fast that you guys were like, yeah, we're going to throw the ball 50 times and run the ball 14 times. It was kind of odd. Tyreek Hill came back, had a game, 5 catches, 99 yards a tug. Travis Kelce, 9 for 90. The defense totaled out. They were able to put Justin Herbert down twice and then get 7 hits on him. So the defense stepped up, did a pretty solid job. On the other side of the spectrum, Herbert, 22 of 33, 311, 1 tug, 1 interception. Austin Eckler, 16 carries, 93 yards. And then Josh Kelly, the rookie out of UCLA, 23 carries, 64 yards. I think we see a little bit of a swinging of the guard.
Hard.
He runs furious. Keenan Allen, 7 catches, 96. Henry, another tight end, trying to put his name in the mix. Maybe, might I say, best tight end or trying to be best tight end in the AFC West.
Not even close.
You're going too deep in there.
6 to 83. So how'd you guys feel about the game? Start off with you, Quan, AFC West resident. How'd you feel about the Chiefs and the Chargers going at it today?
So, Patrick Mahomes, you mentioned, 6 yards per pass attempt. If you watch the Chiefs, the Chargers was really taking away a lot of what the Chiefs like to do, the vertical game, the quick strike offense. They were taking a lot of that away. He only had 1 sack, but he was on his ball all day. They had people in Patrick Mahomes' face all day. And it took them, I would say, until the third quarter to actually kind of key in what the Chargers were doing on defense. And that's why you see at the end of the game when they had the touchdown to the field goal to take it into OT, and then them with that long drive to win. Just methodically going down the field. And honestly, it's not what we're used to seeing, but coming from a Raiders fan, that kind of scares me because the Chiefs scoring quickly, everybody expects that. But when they can sit there and just dink and dunk and methodically get you all the way down the field and then score, that just makes it that much more difficult. I mean, what can we do? They can score quick, they can control the clock, and that's what the Chargers ended up doing, which is why the game was so low scoring. They controlled the clock. And last thing I'm gonna say, you mentioned Josh Kelly, how he runs hard. I tell you what, Austin Eckler ran harder than I've ever seen him run today, and I think he's doing that because of the emergence of a Josh Kelly.
Yes,
Eckler broke on one run. I was like 3rd and 4. He got the first day. He must have broke like 3 tackles. I'm like, Eckler, who are you?
Right.
But
he felt that pressure.
Know why. Now we
feel
know
that
why.
pressure. That boy feel that pressure.
But yeah, I'll kick it to you, man. But don't you ever disrespect Darren Waller like that, please. Calm down.
Oh well, Darren Waller now is the 3rd best tight end in the AFC West.
We'll see tomorrow.
But you know what? I actually got to watch that Kansas City and Chargers game pretty close, and honestly, the Chargers game planned very well in the first half. They game planned very well in the first half on defense, and I think it was a little bit of Kansas City had a little bit of miscues, but if you watch, just like what Quan was saying, they were taking away a lot of stuff that Kansas City is used to doing. Now, once we hit the second half, I believe Kansas City still showed that they are the reigning Super Bowl champs, that they can do things at will. That freaking 3rd down, I think it was like a 3rd down and 20, Mahomes breaks and gets the first down. Like, that's just what he does. That's right. Just who he is. That's just who he is. But I think that this team hasn't lost their mojo. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it's nothing to worry about. But what I will say is that the Chargers, I'm gonna be honest with you, they looked a lot more efficient with Herbert in the offense. And like Quan said, Eckler running as hard as Kelly was. Eckler running as hard as Kelly, you have a 2-headed monster at running back, but Herbert got the ball out pretty quick for a rookie quarterback. Oh my God. Yeah. This RPO, I'm telling you, it's changing the game for a lot of these for these rookie QBs is this RPO action. They're getting all this quick play action, and they're getting the ball to the tight ends. They're getting the ball across the middle. And I honestly, Tyrod, if you ain't healthy, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Even if you are healthy, Herbert might have this already, regardless of the L. Regardless of the L, I would give Herbert maybe the start. Now that one throw he did across the middle where he threw the pick, that's a rookie mistake. He should have took the run. But honestly, Herbert looked very good for his first start. He looked very good to me.
So Pat, real quick, I want to throw a question based off what Miles just said. Head coach Anthony Lynn already come out and said if Tyrod is healthy, He's our starter. Now, do you think that is the right choice, seeing that how Herbert just played and almost knocked off the Chiefs? Or do you think we don't want Tyrod to go down just yet because we got the win? We still want Justin to kind of continue to groom. What do you think is the right decision?
I think you gotta go with Justin. And I love Tyrod to death, but Tyrod is at this point in his career is limited. We know what his ceiling is. We know what he's going to give us. We know what to expect when we see Tyrod take the pitch. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Justin Herbert ran that offense with great command and great poise. It was only one instance in that entire game where he looked like a rookie. Outside of that one play, Justin Herbert played that game exceptionally well, made really great decisions, and put his team in a position to win the game. That's all you can ask for. What was it? They were up what? What was it, 10? How much were they up? Like
they were up by like 9, 10.
Yeah, they were up. And you know, Patrick Mahomes and them came back, kicked a couple of field goals, whatever, and got the game in overtime. But it wasn't because of Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert put the Los Angeles Chargers in a place and a position to win that game.
Can we shout out to the Chiefs girl? He made it from like 50 plus 3 times.
3 times.
He deserved a game ball for his
shout out to him. Shout out.
And that's crazy. So a lot of great football happened today. You know, a lot of great things occurred. A lot of injuries happened. Got to bounce back from a lot of injuries for a lot of teams. But before we get out of here on tonight, since we're not going to be back on until Wednesday night, I think it's only appropriate that we preview tomorrow night. Since we're here, I know that we gave our predictions, and I'm sticking, you know, very clear to mine. I feel like if Josh Jacobs has 25 plus, I'm gonna go Raiders. 25 and under, I'm gonna go Saints. And like I said, that's simply because of ball control and controlling the offense and controlling the time of possession. But I think, you know, it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be a really good game. And I think that there's going to be some surprises that I think nobody really expected. I think Michael Thomas not playing makes it for a better game. But I feel like if Michael Thomas was in the game, then, you know, it wouldn't be much of a game. My opinion. How do y'all feel about it? If y'all don't know, Quan is our resident Raider. Smiles, our guest, is a Saint. And I just wanted to take maybe like 5, you know, maybe 2-3 minutes and let y'all kind of just talk it out.
Miles, you can go first.
Me first. Yep, me first. I'm already saying it's me first. All right, so I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's going to be a good game. But I do believe what you said, Pat. Michael Thomas not being in the offense may make it a more interesting game, but I think it's going to make more of a better game for Taysom Hill, for Jared Cook, for guys that actually, when they do have the ball in their hands, they make plays. The Saints are a very big personnel team. Like when Taysom Hill runs into the huddle and it's him and Drew Brees, you don't know who's going to get the ball. You don't know who. I mean, you don't know where he's going to line up. You don't know all these things. But I will say this, Pat, to your point of Josh Jacobs getting that many carries, he may not get that many carries because if the Saints score fast, they're going to have to play from behind.
Correct.
And listen, if it becomes touchdown for touchdown type of game, that's when Josh Jacobs may get those 25 carries. But I'm going to tell you like this, Quan, we go up by 10, it's a wrap. I'm just letting you know like that. Because
go ahead.
Because real talk, Drew Brees is not a guy to give up leads. He's not that type of guy. And with this guy named Alvin Kamara, I don't believe that you can come back and match a score for score. And I think you guys too are still figuring out the identity of your offense. Just real talk.
Okay.
Go ahead, Quan. Go ahead.
So I don't think we're trying to figure out the identity of the offense. I think we know what the offense is. It's Josh Jacobs and then everything built around that play action. and then we take our shots when we can with Carr. I'll say this: I do agree with you. If it becomes a shootout, I think you have us. I don't think Derek Carr is built like that anymore, until proven otherwise. But I do think if the game close, it be any person's game. I think whichever team's D line wins the pressure is going to win the game, because we both have sitting ducks at quarterback. Derek Carr used to scramble; he don't really do that no more. And Drew Brees ain't running for nobody. So I think whoever's D line has the most pressure / sacks will get the dub. And there's a couple matchups I want us to look out for. Henry Ruggs already been placed active, so he will be active. So that is big, because if we don't connect on deep shots, we will at least take some like we did against the Panthers to keep you honest. And then as far as I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, your starting slot corner is PJ Williams.
Yes, Patrick Williams. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it'll be PJ Williams versus Hunter Renfrow. I think that's a good matchup to watch out for.
Of course.
So we will see what goes on. I'm going with the Raiders. You roll with the Saints. So we'll see what happens, man. But those are the keys to the game. And I'll be wearing Raiders jersey.
Wait, Quan. Wait. Just letting you know, the Saints have not allowed a single 100-yard rusher since 2017. Just I'm not gonna let you forget that.
Just letting you know, since Derek Carr's been in the league, he leads the NFL most comeback wins. Just to let you know.
Ooh, hey, I like
that.
I
like that.
Okay.
I like it. Let's keep it going, man. I think that this has been a great. I want to point out something that's really cool. Through 2 weeks, through week 1, week 2, the NFC West is 7-1. 7-1. Could have been however way it went, there was going to be 7-1. It could have been 1-1 Cardinals, 1-1 Niners, but the NFC West is 7-1 through 2 weeks. AFC West is 4-3 through 2 weeks, and I guess we'll find out more about that tomorrow if they'll end up being 4-4 or 5-3. It's interesting to see how that goes on. We'll be back with you all on Wednesday night. Miles, I want you, while you're on and while you're here, why don't you give out some of your information, some of your Instagram, a little bit about what you got going on. I know a lot of people know that we are a Team Fitty friendly podcast, so I wanted you just to have an opportunity to talk about Team Fitty, tell them where they can go for the Team Fitty services and Instagram and all that good stuff.
All right. Hey, no, I appreciate the field level. Appreciate Pat and Quan. These my bros. So my name is Miles Holmes, personal trainer in the Bay Area. Right now, I'm actually working at a place called Fitness Therapy. My brand is called Team Fitty. All right, it's Team Fitty Fitness. Okay. I do provide personal training services as far as one-on-one training, duo workouts, physical therapy. I mean, anything that you need fitness-wise, I'm your guy. You can reach me on Instagram at teamfitty_MH. All right. I do also take a lot of my messaging from my Instagram account. If you guys have my number, you guys can also go on teamfitty.com to also get some of my information. Also on teamfitty.com, I have a lot of merch, especially like Team Fitty performance sports bras, leggings, performance shirts, hats. We got all those different things. So support your boy. And if you guys just want to just bring fitness into your life, I'm your guy. That's it.
There it is. Y'all see on the screen, man. Get it as IG. Team Fitty.
I like that.
Team Fitty _MH. Go ahead on and follow them on IG. Hey, Quan, we're gonna be back on Wednesday. We'll be back. We'll be back on Wednesday. We'll look at
crying on Wednesday.
We'll be recapping what happened on Monday night. We'll kind of talk our way through what happened in all of week 2. And then we will pick them for week 3. And I want you guys, as you all know, we have a segment called What's on Your Mind, where our fans can kind of come on and send in that fan mail, send in those fan questions. So if you have any questions that you guys want to throw out for us to deal with on the podcast, now's the time to hit us up on Twitter at the Field Level 1, DM us some questions, or hit us up on Instagram at the Field Level, so that way we can have all those questions put together and ready for Wednesday night show. It's Pat. That's Quan. That's Miles. We out of here. Week 2 in the books. Hey, Niners got that dub. I'm feeling real good, man. Hey, y'all have a good one. Hey, drink your green tea. Drink your green tea, throw a little sea moss in that joint. Hey, get a quick run in, do some Team Philly type stuff. Hit them up. Let's find out how we can get fit. And if you need a cool fade, I'm back on that grind. All right, holla at your boy Pat Paul. Hey, I'm out of here, man. This is the Field Level. We're out.